Eugene Chausovsky is a geopolitical analyst who specializes in Russian foreign policy and strategy. Both the U.S. and Russia have backed out of treaties before. Here's what he had to say if this one is any different.
I think this one is not that different. I think it will just play into the broader military buildups that we've already seen happen between the U.S. and Russia ever since the Euromaidan conflict in Ukraine. So this one, I think, has been messaged for quite some time now over the past few months that the U.S. was planning to withdraw, or at least initiate that withdrawal. And I think this will just play into the military buildups that are already underway.
And both the U.S. and Russia blame the other. How significant is this move by the United States, if at all? Russia never admitted violation of arms control treaties. So what is Russia's view to this development?
Right. Well, Russia has denied the U.S. allegations that it's been breaching the agreement and then has issued its own allegations against U.S. breaches. But I think from Russia's perspective, this is something that it knew was going to happen eventually. It just didn't want to be the one to withdraw from the agreement itself. But having said that, both sides have been preparing and developing a lot of different weapon systems that were in violation of this agreement. So I think it's going to be a significant one in the sense that it will play into the military buildups, but it's not groundbreaking or particularly surprising.
What are the geopolitical implications here? We have the EU reacting to this. And can this move have any impact on negotiations, for example, the U.S. is having with the DPRK to denuclearize the Korean Peninsula? Also, in regard to Iran and the remaining countries involved in the Iran nuclear deal?
Right. So I think there's a few different implications here. Primarily, it's going to be the Europeans that are the most concerned about this because they would be essentially the key site of any military buildups, of these missiles buildups, both from the U.S. side and also the Russian side, particularly in that European borderlands area that's in contention between the Eastern European countries of NATO and also countries like Ukraine. But yes, there are definitely other implications in terms of the U.S. wanting to counter China's own military buildup and missiles buildup because China wasn't a part of the INF agreement. And that's a big reason why the U.S. wanted to pull out in the first place, not just because of Russia. So I think we can also see these kinds of military buildups in the Asia-Pacific theater as well.
So can the INF treaty be saved, or does this leave room to negotiate something updated and new to include other countries?
Right. That's something that Russia has definitely brought up as a potential way to save or at least update, to modernize this agreement. I don't think that's something that the U.S. is going to be interested in, just because the U.S. has an interest in countering what China has really done over the past few years to catch up and in some ways surpass at least other regional players in this theater. So I think from that perspective, we're going to see some attempts by Russia to salvage the agreement or at least produce a new agreement, but I don't think it's going to be taken by the U.S.
Eugene Chausovsky, thank you so much for joining us.